What's going on, Philadelphia?
Yeah, you better not O. There's no fucking O in this situation.
I'm not gonna celebrate. It's John Barchard, Vince Quinn, Taylor Kredatus, Thomas Peterson, and the gang, all here at Vince Quinn's apartment as I'm holding up a bottle of bourbon because we're gonna drink our sorrows away. And well, Vince Quinn, do you want to start with being joyous or mad?
Joyous about what? What am I joyous about?
That Jalen Hurts gave us an amazing game outside of a really shitty fumble that pretty much swung the game.
Yeah.
Outside of Nick Sirianni's cojones shrinking to very, very shriveled amount on a 4th and fucking 3.
4th and 3 on his own 30.
I mean, like I'm having a hard time finding to be mad. I'll probably be pissed when I rewatch it 50 times.
What? What? You need something to be mad about? Let me give you something to be mad about. What the fuck did Hassan Reddick do in this game? What did Brandon Graham do? What did Javon Hargrave do? What did Fletcher Cox do? What did Jordan Davis, Linval Joseph, Ndamukong Suh, Jordan Davis? What did any of those guys do in this game? The entire game, run defense, pass defense, anything, please tell me.
Sure. In the first half, they had a pretty decent game plan, and they were kicking ass. And at one point, towards the second half, Hassan Reddick had Patrick Mahomes on the run at one point. It looked like he re-injured his ankle. And you know what happened? You know what happened in the second half after that? Andy Reid fucking out-coached Jonathan Gannon left and fucking right when Patrick Mahomes had 19 piddly fucking attempts or whatever it was all together.
Yeah.
And Pacheco is running down your fucking throat.
Yeah.
And you stay in strict Jonathan Gannon principles and don't adjust for counters. You're not adjusting for fucking jet sweeps, motion. You're not telling your fucking corners like, hey, these guys don't just go straight out and straight back. Sometimes they jot and try and fuck you up down the goal line twice for open touchdowns with Slay and Maddox, like totally misreading their assignments. Andy was playing a fucking fiddle in the second half. Start there, motherfucker, instead of the D line that was useless because of that run game. There is
useless because of the run game.
They ran for the whole third quarter, neutralizing any gas left to get to Patrick Mahomes in the fourth.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Exactly. They didn't stop shit. They didn't cause shit. They didn't rush a throw on a guy with a bum ankle. They didn't do it all night. Mahomes' stat line is not impressive. The guy threw for under 200 yards tonight. What did he do? He had all the time in the world. He had no pressure. They didn't do anything to make it hard for him, and he made the right reads.
God damn, they're replaying where Jalen Hurts
How many
winning for
quarterbacks
2.
could have done that tonight? How many quarterbacks with no pressure whatsoever? The MVP of this game, without a doubt, was the entire Kansas City offensive line. They did nothing against them in any way, shape, or form all night. Run D, pass D. They got their ass kicked, and that's 38 points to Kansas City.
Isn't that coaching?
No, they didn't win
How
their
is that
matchups.
not coaching?
They didn't win their matchups.
Matchups?
They have what do you mean? What did any of the? Was there a single play all game where Patrick Mahomes had to rush anything?
Yeah,
There's nothing like that from either of you.
I just literally said in the first half when it started to actually work to flush out Patrick Mahomes to lean on that fucking ankle, then they just stopped doing it. They stopped doing it. Why did they stop doing it? Because they got crushed in the run game.
Well, what changed then? What was the major change from them from winning to not winning? Then did they change something in the first half and the second half?
No, and that's on coaching. Like you're watching the entire first half where they're driving down the field. We had an extended period of time where the Eagles' offense is mostly on the field because they give that turnover and then subsequent touchdown. But I mean, the fact is, Kansas City, they punted once in the first half.
Yep.
Other than that, they just drove down the field and they scored. So I mean, and so you're watching that entire first half and saying, all right, we're not getting any pressure with a four-man front, and just letting those generically rush the passer. And you go out in the second half and you do shit to fix it. You're not sending any pressure, and you're not pressing up with the cornerbacks and basically saying, like, we're going to get after Patrick Mahomes. Because if the offensive line is playing as well as they are, you need to send more than they can actually account for.
And that's Thomas Peterson, by the way, who's totally wrong.
Hi, buddy.
You got to win matchups sometimes.
You got to win matchups, but if you don't,
he's going to be the defensive player of the year. He's got to win a matchup from time to time.
But if you don't win the matchups, and you're watching that as a defensive coach, and you're seeing your players not being in a position where they're winning, you need to change it. That's on you. That happens for everybody. That happens to every player in any game at any time. Like, that can happen. Like, you can have a bad game where you're not getting the production that we're used to seeing. And also, Chiefs' offensive line is one of the best in the NFL. That's how it is. They've been protecting Mahomes all season long. You know how lethal he is when he gets time.
But that's the problem. It's like, because here's the thing. If it was just Reddick that got beat, he's in a certain matchup, he can't beat the left tackle or whatever it is. Or Andrew Wiley, who was the whole matchup of, oh, he's going to beat Andrew Wiley. Fine. He can't beat Andrew Wiley. Fine. I get it. But it's Hargrave. It is Cox. It is Brandon Graham. It is Josh Sweat. It's all these different guys. The run game got torched. Everything that this team that we believed about who the defense was and what they could do, none of it held up. And I can't blame Gannon for trusting all of those guys, and all of those guys failed him.
All they need to do was come up with one play, and they couldn't do that. So it's not about So
that's my point.
But if you're looking and going like, if you want to blame the defense for losing the game, have at it. But they lost the fucking game 4th and 3. Sorry. Like, you can't, if you are Nick Sirianni and you are doing this and you're watching your defense getting its ass kicked to a guy that's going to be fucking coaching in that garbage ass stadium with that garbage ass fucking field, which I told you was going to be a problem from the beginning, you need to have the offense take over or do something if you're getting your ass kicked. If Jonathan Gannon can't create a stunt for Hassan Riddick to go around or create a matchup like Thomas is saying to go and win, then like you got to take control and trust your quarterback who has scored 5 or 4? 4 touchdowns total, 3 on the ground, 1 in the air. You've got Devontae Smith killing everybody. A.J. Brown is uncoverable one-on-one in a slant. Fucking trust them to go and do it at any point in time of the game, just like Andy Reid and his fucking Chiefs offense, and he does all that. There was moments where they blinked, and they blinked twice. I would even say the 4th and 6 field goal was kind of like bullshit at that point because you know what's happening. But I don't know. If you have watched the Chiefs once, you just have to keep scoring. And Nick Sirianni pulled up on the pedal twice, and that's why they lost.
Yeah,
that's why they lost.
They put up 35 points. I can't blame them for that. Devontae Smith, 100 yards.
Not the points. Decisions.
But what? I mean, they went for okay. So they punted on a 4th and 3 at their own 30. The problem isn't that they punted on a 4th and 3 on their own 30. The problem is they gave a return for 55 yards. I mean, stop the return. That's not a hard ass to do, and their special teams has not been that atrocious.
You haven't
scored anyway.
You didn't stop them for a drive all game. It doesn't matter.
Early in the game, they stopped them plenty of times. And how much? They were up
once.
They were up 24-14 at halftime. And one of those touchdowns was a fumble from Jalen Hurts.
It's a lot easier to say that when you didn't see them walk down the field. 90% of the drives that they
But that was all in the second half. The first touchdown.
It's a full game.
They scored 1 touchdown in the first half. The second touchdown was Jalen Hurts literally throwing them the ball, and then it became a touchdown. They gave up 1 touchdown as a defense in the first half.
None of us felt good when Kansas City had the ball. None of us felt good.
I felt terrible.
None of us felt good.
Yeah, I felt fine because it was.
God!
What did the receivers do in that game? What did Mahomes do?
It doesn't matter. They walked down the field.
They didn't do shit. Mahomes had like 120 yards. He didn't do anything,
and they beat you.
That's not the point.
Yes, because the defense couldn't do anything.
What did Pacheco have on the ground?
Yeah, and thank you very much for that because they had 26 carries for 158 yards and a touchdown.
Bingo.
They averaged over 6 yards a carry because nobody on the defensive line in the front 7 could win in the run game. They couldn't win in pass rush. They never made an impact play. Mahomes never had to force a throw. It was always easy. It was always light, even when he didn't play well. Jalen was the better quarterback by a mile in this game. I will not debate that.
Oh yeah,
he was better by a mile.
100%. But I mean, that's the issue. If you can't stop the run and you can't rush the passer, it's time to mix it up. Like, stop going with your 5-man front and the generic pass that comes from that. Go 4-man front, 3 linebackers. Put Nakobe Dean in there. Blitz. Like, if your guys at linebacker are having a tough time actually reading the offense and reacting to it, make it an easy decision for them. Yes! Blitz them, because that, as a defensive player, you have one mentality: shoot. Whatever you read, shoot. Just go.
Exactly. All right, John, you want to take that for a minute then? Because I know it's right in your alley. So go ahead.
I mean, shout out to Chef Scott, who floated the idea to me on fucking Friday. Exactly. That's, if they're killing you in one way or another in your base fucking defense, then you have to throw something at them they've never seen before.
Doesn't matter if it's 2 linebackers and next, like, blitz Reed Blankenship. Have him go in there. Johnson Gardner-Johnson, and have an extra DB to cover for him. Throw him in there. Like,
yes.
Do whatever. Get off the edge and crash everybody inside. Like, crash everything in the middle and then put somebody blitzing off the edge. Something that isn't as generic as to where Patrick Mahomes can just go simply straight down the field.
Yes. Man, it's just, they didn't. It's the same complaint I always have. It's too. Everyone says, this is how they got there. This is how they beat them. It's by Jonathan Gannon doing this, and like, did it matter? That's what I mean. And I just have a hard. It's a 4-minute offense that you have to know earlier, and even then, like, don't take the fucking ball out of Jalen's hands when you have a perfect opportunity to hand it back to him and go win the football game. And they thought of it too late, and they didn't even make it look like they were attempting to fucking take out. Was it McKinnon that made the smart slide there?
Yeah.
They didn't even attempt to look like they were tackling him out of bounds. I was really pissed about that. Like, you can't at least fake it. Fuck it. Like,
shove him out of bounds,
dude. Yeah, or I was blown away.
Shove him in the end zone.
Yeah.
We've seen that before, like where someone is trying to actually get down to the 1-yard line and they get shoved in the end zone. They get tackled in the end zone.
Yeah, I'm just, all of those.
That whole,
they blinked 3 times, and that's what lost the game.
That whole sequence in the end, from the defensive holding on an uncatchable ball to the sliding, and nobody really, like, what a terrible way.
And the Bradbury thing was that was one of the shittiest calls that you could have called on him all year for any of the massive holds that he gets away with.
And
so
also,
he's got the reputation.
They didn't call anything the entire game, and then that's what they chose to call. Like, it's just. Yeah,
it's unbelievable. So,
and Jason Kelsey will be telling us, well, the call it, so that's it, and there's so many other opportunities to win the game, and
he's right,
and he's right, but it just feels terrible.
I mean, giving Jalen back the ball with 154 or whatever it is, gosh, I would really like to see that alternate universe. I really would, but because of the defensive line, Vince Quinn.
Yes. Not a single guy out of like 7 guys made a play all night. None of them. And that's what drove the defense. That's what drives the organization for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. Offensive line was great. Chris Jones didn't do shit. He was a total non-factor, and Jalen crushed him. But defensively, they totally blew it. And those are the guys that made them one of the best defenses, one of the best teams in the league. So, and all the other guys did their job. I mean, in the secondary, what did Juju Smith-Schuster really do in this game? What did Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
Fuck, he wore a kilt and he won a Super Bowl. God damn it.
Those guys had like 7 yards apiece per catch, and they didn't do shit. It was Kelsey, it was Pacheco, it was a few plays here and there. Like, everybody else did their job except the defensive line. So I really put it on them. I mean,
dude, what are you talking about? Darius Slay got his ass pantsed for a touchdown.
Badly.
Really bad.
And Epps did too.
And
Avonte Maddox, Epps, and Slay all had, like,
and again, schematical matchups where Marcus Epps is one-on-one with Travis Kelce is getting out-coached.
Kelsey not getting doubled, like, immediately. After the first completion, it's like, okay, that's it. That's all they got. And nope.
After the first opening touchdown, you're going like, okay, we can never do that shit again. And then they never went back into that either.
Well, it's tough because in the first half, he got a lot of targets, but they didn't do all that much with it ultimately. They only scored 7 points on offense with him getting the ball all the time. They missed a kick, whatever. So,
well, they pretty much marched down the field, yeah.
But they did, but they missed. They didn't do much. They didn't.
No,
do
because they
enough with
missed
it.
because they missed the kick.
They missed a kick, but it's a kick. It's not a touchdown. Like they only scored 7. If you want to give them the kick, even 10 points in the first half, they'd still be up 21-10. Like that's a winnable game, or 21-17, whatever you want to call it. They would still be up at halftime. It's just they didn't do a good enough job winning the personal matchups. And like there is coaching stuff. I don't want to say the coaching did a fantastic job, but if I got to put it on a specific thing, it's 7 guys, and enough of those guys are Pro Bowlers or comeback player of the year or defensive player of the year, and they didn't do their job.
215-509-5833. If you can text us, I don't know. I just don't feel like that's. I feel like Vince is wrong here. I just think it's not.
You've never said that before.
It's a massive number of things. Or feel free to join the Discord. I'm currently drinking again bourbon and taking a shot every time Vince says something awful, and I'm like, oh yeah.
You've had a lot then tonight.
You tell me if this is just kind of like feeling it out or whatever. But I feel like Andy had so many different matchups early on. Like there was never that. I don't understand why they never responded to that. That's not exactly what I wanted to say. I kind of forgot my thought. The whiskey's kicking in, but like,
no, I mean, it wasn't even difficult things. Like in the end zone, it was just like some simple motions. Completely threw off Darius Slay.
Yeah,
completely threw off Monte Maddox. They weren't motioning to the other side. It wasn't a speed race where you got caught in traffic. Or like it's just a simple like half field motion, and they got caught completely off guard whilst in the end zone.
They ran it twice.
Yeah,
you already saw them do it
on both sides.
But you saw them do it.
Darius Slay can't cover it. Let's try the other side. Let's try Monte Maddox to see.
Early, it was also just didn't it feel like they were wasting like their corners, because you were even saying like it's MVS, it's Juju, it's not like they're going to be these big dominating guys giving these guys fits like one after the other. Like, why wasn't there a switch to if Pacheco is killing you, if Travis Kelce is killing you, like why wouldn't you throw Slay on him, or why wouldn't you throw Bradbury on him at all? That never happened once, right? It was strictly like staying with Maddox, staying with that, and Andy kept picking that apart over and over again. Am I imagining that?
Well, yeah. I mean, for I'll pull up the box score because I'm honestly curious for how many yards all of that stuff is, and that's the thing. It's like how many plays, how many times were they successful? How much did it really take advantage? How much did they blow it? Because, like, look, if these guys aren't covering Sky Moore and leaving him wide fucking open for the touchdown, somebody fucked up. Right? It's either the worst call and it's a play that has no principle, that makes no sense, or somebody fucked up. Somebody fucked up. Darius Slay on that coverage with Travis Kelce or Marcus Epps got burned on that touchdown. He got burned. He slipped. If you want to blame it on the turf, you can. It's $1 million down the drain from the NFL.
Congratulations.
It's $1 million for the Kansas City Chiefs, but Epps falls and Kelsey's open and catches the touchdown. So it's how much is it these guys didn't execute, and at some point they didn't execute. Like how much of that is Gannon's fault?
The receiving stats do not speak to what we're saying. Kelsey, 6 receptions, 81 yards.
Okay.
Holy shit. Smith-Schuster, 7 receptions, 53 yards. Watson, 2 for 18. McKinnon, 3 for 15. And everybody else had 5 yards or less.
Yeah, like we all take that going into the Super Bowl any day of the week. We all take it.
Easy. That's an everyday Kelsey game, and then nobody else really showed out.
Yeah, then they had the 160 rushing yards.
Yes.
That's why I said receiving.
Stop or tackle anything.
But it all adds up to because then it goes into like what are the down and distances for like is 5 yards? Is that in like a first down like a third down conversion? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just.
They didn't get
they're you can say the defensive line if that's what makes you feel better.
I will die on that hill.
It's they got
group effort
smashed in the second quarter, and they had 0 answers and
no adjustments.
Same other than
plan.
Jalen still kicking ass and taking names and being able to score touchdowns and answer pretty much everything that they threw at him. So now that you got that out of the way, you done with it? You good with that?
I made my point.
He's not. No, he's not done.
I've made my point for now. Yeah, if you talk to me on Tuesday, I might feel different, but for now, I've made my point.
I can't be mad.
Same.
I really can't be mad here. I mean, this is like I'll Thursday I'll probably point something out that really pissed me off, but like it'll probably because I've watched this game a million times. Jalen Hurts is an incredible fucking quarterback, and I hope that everyone feels embarrassed for even remotely saying, including you, Robbie Gould, to make him play quarterback, and he's throwing dimes to fucking Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith, and just had excellent timing all night.
I think Dallas Goedert needs to be praised because
Oh my God, yes,
he had multiple holy shit, how that even happened plays.
yeah.
Like unbelievable game by him.
And both highlighted probably best on, I can't even remember what that was it third quarter, down 28-27.
Oh, that call that he
massive-
shouldn't have gotten as a reception? Is that what we're talking about?
The helmet grab.
No, over the linebacker, even just for 5 yards on like
okay.
that massive
Yeah,
rush
that one,
was incredible. And you still don't think that was a catch?
No, it wasn't a
God,
catch.
You are in a bad mood. That was a fucking catch
It was
any day
never
of the
a
week.
catch, and he got away with it, and it's fine.
The helmet.
Let it be stated, Vince Quinn was talking all of the shit at halftime.
I was.
Let it be
Because
stated.
I believed in the defensive
Let
line.
it be stated.
And they failed me. And that's why I'm pissed off, because I believed in 7 guys, and I thought at least
Or
2 of them.
you could have watched a football game and know it's not over at half.
No, I watched this Eagles team play
Come on,
20
dude.
games this year, and I believed in that defensive line for what I saw from all those games. They had the second most sacks in NFL history, and I thought I would see some glimpse of that team, and they never showed up.
But they're gonna show up again and again every fucking year because everyone that has tried to say they didn't even belong in this game, that all this was like paper champs and all this stuff. No way, dudes. That was 3 points of one massive Jalen Hurts mistake, defensive line not showing up, however you want to call it. Nick Sirianni having little tiny mincy balls, unfortunately. But dude, this team is going to be so fucking good for a long time, like to a point where it's going to be the same thing that the Chiefs are experiencing now. Multiple NFC championship runs, multiple Super Bowl visits. I love this core so much. I'm confident in saying that. I don't know if they're going to win a whole bunch of them, but they're going to be back here a lot. And they've continued to show me that they're building long-term. They always have. No one believed that Jalen Hurts could even throw a fucking football this year, and he's led this team to a Super Bowl.
Jalen Hurts being second in the MVP race and probably would have gotten if not for that injury and missing a few games, and winning 2 playoff games and being damn near perfect in the Super Bowl and being right there with the Chiefs kind of eases it up a little bit. I mean, just the level of consistency that he's played with all throughout the year, and how like going into the season it was, can the team win in spite of Jalen Hurts? And what if he doesn't grow in the way that we thought? Can the run game, can the defense take over? And it's just been the exact opposite. Like it's been Jalen Hurts carrying the team for a lot of games this year and basically winning the game in situations where they had no business winning games. And then like the run into the playoffs being like, what a game he had, man. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it just a near perfect passer, today, and just
Same dominant runner, but like
man,
3 TDs on the ground, like
cash
And a passing
You're
touchdown
welcome.
to go with that. He had 4 touchdowns
he had
today.
4 touchdowns. He ran over Chris Jones on the QB sneak. I mean,
Yeah, got pushed back.
Never heard of him. Don't know who that guy is.
He's got more rings than you do.
Yes,
This ring?
that one on your middle finger. That's right. Thomas, you've been saying too. Everybody kind of has this inkling that Kelsey's gonna walk, and this would be really a sucky way to say goodbye to him. But based on everything that was going on between him and his brother on the podcast and his mom speaking out, it kind of sounds like he's probably going to be back next year.
I mean,
right?
It was kind of like vague indications, but it's all the indications we've had is that he's definitely not made up his mind, his family, or his mother at least, is kind of maybe taking a little bit for granted that they'll be playing each other in Kansas City next season, and the result of this game definitely doesn't shut any rumors up about anything. I mean, I really doubt this is the way that Jason wants to go out.
Yes, same. And I know Frankie and I were talking too, and be like, "Oh man, this might be it for BG though," which is kind of sad. And I don't mean to bring more sad things into the conversation, but that's like, oh fuck, you really wanted to see it for him. So that's one of the things I'm like probably gonna suck about that and thinking about that over the next couple of years. But I mean, we're talking about a top 10 draft pick. We're talking about this team only getting better. Like, I can't believe Devontae gave us that game. He's just so good. I never even imagined this leap in the second year. What did he end up with? Like 6
7
for 1
catches,
something?
100 yards.
Yeah, and
We thought he was injured for a moment.
Yeah. He limped
took a
off the
massive
field.
hit.
He's actually in the boot right now.
He's in a
Oh,
boot,
he's in a boot
right
as we
now.
speak,
Andy's
so-
staying over there. Yeah.
My God.
He made that helmet catch that got overturned. Like,
Yeah.
it was damn near close. Made that right after.
Yes, exactly.
Made the long catch there at the end of the game as well to tie the game up. I mean,
Oh, and it could be one of the reasons why he's in a boot too, because he was walking funny out to that sideline where it was just like missed his footing again. Thanks a lot.
for
Turf.
whatever it's worth. I mean, all these guys in the team, they're grinders. Like that's all they know. They're gonna go out. They're gonna get like last year the humiliation against the Bucks. Jalen went right out, texted Devontae, texted the rest of the guys like, man, like we can really do this thing. They go to Super Bowl. If there's anybody like, it's gonna be cliche. It's gonna end up being cliche. But like, if there's anything to know about Jalen Hurts, this team is only gonna get better. They're gonna channel this and they're gonna get better from it.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's the contrast you can't be mad about. Like, you got embarrassed by the Bucks a year ago, and
Now you're in the Super Bowl. You're playing
you
right up there.
almost fucking won the Super Bowl.
toe to
Like,
toe with the MVP.
come on.
Yeah.
You can't be that mad. You can't.
I just-
Nobody's.
yeah.
Plus,
You can't.
the core of the team, like Brandon Graham might be on his way out.
Hargrave's probably out.
Hargraves might. I mean,
Yeah, who knows?
There's going to be some decisions to be made on the team. It's going to look different next year. Probably
Yep.
also a little bit for the better. I mean,
But
you got
most
two
likely,
first round draft pick. How he's going to maneuver around with the cap. He's going to sign a couple guys back. We're going like, oh, I didn't know that was possible. And I mean, they have a core at some of the most important positions on the team, starting with the quarterback that's in place for a long time.
And they're going to get a much better offensive coordinator. Bye, Shane! Bye-bye! Tell Indy I said hello. And I'd like to welcome everybody to Brian Johnson land, where we can run a real offense now. Hello! That's the bonus he keeps on giving. It's the byproduct of the byproduct. Everybody thinks he's great and fun and fucking A. Bye, Shane. That's the other butter on my roll right today. I'm happy about it.
So do you think-
we don't have to fucking talk about him anymore?
What? No,
He's
we-
going to be a Colt.
Do you think Dan?
About this. Hold on a goddamn second. I yell about the defense all goddamn night, and you tell me that Shane Steichen's the problem.
Yeah.
When the offense scored
No,
35
no.
points in the fucking Super Bowl.
No. I'm not saying.
What
that-
are we talking
No,
about?
I'm not
the
saying
problem.
Shane Steichen was the problem. He didn't lose them the Super Bowl,
Okay.
right? But it's only going to get better from here because Shane Steichen sucks. He sucks. God damn it. He got shadow banned, and it's going to be great. He's in the Colts. Brian Johnson, much better, way better.
Should've had
Most sought
50.
after. You know,
Should've had 50.
something like
I mean,
that.
I've been you've had at least what 4 or 5 like holy shit, how did that happen plays? Like, you got very lucky on a lot of like 50-50 calls.
I mean, I don't think Shane's elite, but man, the offense put up 35 in the Super Bowl. I can't be like, get the fuck out.
Jalen Hurts and the offensive line put
Yeah.
up 35, and Jeff Stoutland put up 35, who got extended immediately. I just want to point out
That's
again,
another thing. I mean, the Jeff Stoutland staying in Philly is massive.
huge. And
Brian this was the only way Brian Johnson was staying too. Like, he was going to get signed to Baltimore. He was going to get signed to Carolina in one of their OC openings. If Shane doesn't leave, he's gone. So it's going to be either one of them.
so I'm thanking Jim Irsay personally right now, post Super Bowl, because that's a fucked up thought to have, right? But has to be said because I'm excited for what's next because, like Devontae AJ Hurts is so young. It's crazy. It's only 2 years behind or 3 years behind Patrick Mahomes. God, he's only 27 too, huh? That's going to be terrifying.
He's going to be a pain in the ass for a long time. His 5-year resume is stupid.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
5 Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pros, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and 2 Super Bowl rings.
Which is why we're going to have a Mahomes-Hurts rivalry for the rest of time. I think that's where this is headed, don't you guys? I love this. I think this is you are going to see this a lot. No matter what the teams are going to be, Patrick Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts is going to happen more than once. That's my take.
I'll tell you this right now. I mean, based on the base roster, regardless of free agents, what's going to happen? The guys that are currently on the team going into next year, the Eagles are the best team in the NFC still.
By a mile.
There's no reason they shouldn't come back.
Yeah, this is set up for the future beautifully, T.
I think just another reason you shouldn't be mad. You lost to Jordan. Like, that guy's Jordan. At this rate, like all the accolades that Thomas just said, like he's the man. You're not going to be able to beat him. He's the man.
There's Tom Brady.
There is the legit case that's been said like this week that Patrick Mahomes could retire tomorrow and he'll be a Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah.
Not even
Andrew Luck, by the way. He's not a Hall of Famer. Fuck off. But anyway.
Okay.
Where'd that come from?
It's been a conversation.
Vince heard somebody
this week.
say Jim Irsay, so it just triggered his brain.
No, it's been a conversation this week. He's up for it next year. They can fuck off. He's not a Hall of Famer.
All right.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so Jonathan Gannon, just to touch on that, do you think he's just going to stay in Arizona? He's not going to go home?
I hear from the back of the room.
That he is.
Here's what I want to ask. Is there any chance that Vic Fangio can pull a 180 on his deal in Miami?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels exists.
Really?
Has he only verbally committed? Has he signed anything?
Nope.
He's technically under contract with the Eagles through today, so I guess if he signed an extension, I don't know.
Nothing's official with him. Like
Okay.
he hasn't signed any.
come on.
He hasn't signed any papers.
It's theoretically could he? It's will
Yeah,
he?
it's just the question. Like, can he do it? Like,
All right.
Is it possible that I could land on the moon? Yes.
It is.
It
Yes.
is possible. Yes.
We can find you a rocket.
But here's a better question. If by chance the Arizona Cardinals get a little, I don't know, funky about hiring Jonathan Gannon all of a sudden, and he stays here, how are you going to sell Vince Quinns of the world that it's all going to get better in the end? And that's not going to happen in the Super Bowl. Because that's all we're going to talk about. We're going to blame Jonathan Gannon for losing the Super Bowl for fucking 6 months. And that's really the only reason. I'm fine if he stays, honestly. But I hope to God that he leaves just so we don't have to fucking talk about it.
Do you really think he can beat an elite quarterback?
Do I think he can beat an elite quarterback? Yes, I do. If he fucking learns how to get out of his own fucking way.
Or if anybody learns how to beat anybody for the whole game.
Andy Reid kicked his ass.
Easily.
Andy Reid personally
Easily.
went out there.
But
He kicked Hassan Reddick in the dick. He kicked Brandon Graham in the dick.
Yes.
He kicked Hargrave in the dick.
Sure did.
Cox in the dick.
Yep.
Right in the
Cox in the
All
Cox.
of
Yeah.
them. I mean, all of them. None of them did anything all game in the Super Bowl. Now, I will say this, though, for next year, what all of it is, they played like shit in this game. They got their ass kicked in this game. It's why they lost this game. Does it say anything about next season and the overall potential of the team and being the best roster? It doesn't change anything. They played like shit tonight, and it is what it is, and you go on with your life. I will take all these guys back next year. I really would. I wouldn't throw these guys back. I wouldn't say, oh, these guys suck now because they played a bad game in the Super Bowl. They're the reason you're at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
They're one of the best sack teams of all time. You don't just throw this in the garbage. You don't dismiss all of this because of a single week. People always want to do that, and it's not that reactionary. All the games you played to get here matter. All the games that all those individual players played to get here matter, and all of those guys generally are great. So it just sucks that they suck tonight. But they're great players. You bring them all back as much as you can, and you run it back next year.
Yeah, and you're going to have plenty of upgrades on defense, too. There's lots of room. There's cap room. There's doubling. Like all the stuff we said. I'm actually just getting excited to now get to the goddamn draft and
Saints
free agency
pick.
and everything.
Yeah.
Saints pick will be fun.
Am I allowed to still root for a TCU wide receiver possibly falling to 15 and maybe Howie moving back? Because that's the type of I want to get Quez Watkins the fuck out of here immediately.
Boy.
Right now. Like, that is what I'm talking about superior upgrades.
He makes that
See ya.
catch. That's a very like that was,
Yeah.
that was a field goal.
That was
Yeah,
in his hands and out.
that's a 7-point difference.
Big time. See, that's why I swear to God, it's only going to get better from here.
It's tough saying that because you got every other like lucky ass play before that. Like it sucks. Like it was like
And hit it right in hand.
and I was going to say a very catchable ball, and that's the one that you missed.
Big time. I don't know, guys. I'm fine in it here for now, if that's where you want to leave it. But I've got plenty of twisted takes that'll probably end up until May. So
Tuesday.
But all I can say is this. I would not want to watch a Super Bowl loss with fucking anybody else tonight. I'm so fucking amazed that Thomas Peterson is here and that we've met all these awesome dudes tonight. The fact that Frankie and Dana and allow us to do all this crazy shit and tour the entire country basically by going to every single Eagles away game this year. By doing it with the two brothers that I would trust the most in Taylor and Vince has been fucking incredible. I don't think my nights nor my weekends would be fulfilled without the Discord because we're having such a good time in there all the time. We talk about, you know, the obvious football crap, but just so much weird shit. People get into random debates at 3:00 in the morning and then they all make up at 7 and we drink cups of coffee and imagine what it would be like to ride a unicorn and have swords and have Jalen. I don't know where we're going with that, but that's the type of stuff that's going on. And I know a lot of conversations in there have helped a lot of people and people have been going through some stuff. So it's just been pretty awesome to reconnect again with the entire community everywhere. Whether it's been in Detroit or Arizona or fucking, hopefully I hope we have a game in Denmark or we can all meet up in Australia or something like that.
It's going to be one in Germany.
Yeah.
Germany's going to get
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right. An incredible thank you from all of us for letting us do this and be a part of your lives, however that is. And that's probably the most important thing or why we do this stuff. So thank you very much. And we can't wait to see, oh man, all of your takes this week and
Bring 'em all.
certainly into the off season here. So fellas, any final thoughts before we leave a 38-35 Super Bowl loss?
Yeah, I mean, you said everything in a lot of different ways. I mean, just for me, in terms of other stuff, like this is the greatest Eagles team I've ever seen. I don't take back from that in any way, shape, or form. This roster was unbelievable. This season was unbelievable. The way they won all these games that they shouldn't have. A lot of very good teams lose a lot of games that they won. This was the ride of a lifetime. So it's been so much fun with this team. As much as I'm pissed about tonight, hell of a season for all of those guys, every single player, every single coach. It's as good as you could have asked for, and only good things ahead. So it's just been so much fun to be a part of this, to be with this with all you guys, everybody in the Discord, YouTube, text line, everything. Hell of a ride.
T?
Yeah, insane season, insane year for us, everybody that's been following us along. Yeah, it sucks losing to Andy, but I mean, it's cool to see him win another one, and I'm not too afraid that we're not going to win one too much sooner. So yeah, let's keep going.
I'll drink to that as the bourbon is setting in. Thomas, any final words, my friend?
I guess for me, you guys said everything Eagles related. I guess for me, it would just be like, thank you for letting me guest you here and for
course.
hosting me here in Philly. It's been a blast already, and despite the atmosphere going to be a lot different than what we all hoped for, I'm looking forward to these next couple of days.
And did you end up losing house, by the way? I don't know if that happened or not because
All the
couch.
Gainwell bets hit.
All
There
the
we
game
go.
on bets.
All right.
There we go,
All
Thomas.
right, emotional hedging.
All right.
We did it, everybody. So for myself, John Barchard, Vince Quinn, Taylor Kredatus, Thomas Peterson, thank you so much for hanging out. And we will see you Tuesday where we really get into the offseason and we finally get to jump into draft Twitter. All right.
Shit.
We'll see you then, guys. Bye-bye.